Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you are. Hello. Guys, I have not been on in a minute, and I apologize for that. I do. I thank the few new subscribers that I got a few weeks ago. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Listen, life happens, and I was unable to come on. So I just thought that this morning I would say hello. And, I was contemplating again taking down my locks. So I started in this area somewhere, right? It was like this lock that I just didn't like, and it was like a knot or something in there. So anyway, I started, I can't even find it now, okay? But it was in there. And baby, let me tell you, when I started it, I remembered how a few years ago, about 9 years ago, when I had my other set of locks that was really, really beautiful, I took them down. And as I was taking them down, I was saying to myself then, 9 years ago, why are you doing that? So anyway, I saturated the lock, okay? And I just started at the bottom because, a lot of my hair, even though it's now been, I believe, almost 9 years again, that these locks have been in, they're not locked. It's not all the way locked. However, in this area, it is very, very tiny. And so I came to, as I was doing it, it was like, it was coming out, it was saturated and everything. And it was getting open, and I was losing the hair. And then I must have yanked too hard or whatever, and the whole lock came off. And that's when I said, nope, I am going to keep them. And I don't know, I think that because I don't have a stylist, and I get a little tired of trying to do it and wash it and keep it up. But as I was doing that, trying to, see how much I could save, to me, I was losing a lot of hair. So I'm not going to have length, for one. For two, it would take me, 2 hours for one lock. And I probably got like about 200 locks, I guess. I don't know. So I've decided that they will remain in for now. I don't want to, if I remove them, then I'd have to cut them because, for one, the hair is extremely thin. And for two, yeah, just like that. Like this hair right here, like this was one that popped off or whatever. But if you look at this, right, it is not locked. So I could start to unravel it. However, it would just take too long. And, then my hair is, of course, all uneven all over the place. So not all the hair would be, long. I don't have a stylist, so then I'd have to be trying to find someone to give me a clip and to get it back healthy. Like, yeah, I am going to continue to moisturize her on my own. And that's just a little spray bottle that I have some water and oil in. But I don't know. I just don't even know the right products to use. Like, I don't really use too much product other than oil and water. And I guess that's working for me. But I don't know, like I would like to just wear her down like this outside. But it's too hot here for that. So that's why you always see me like in a ponytail, like the ponytail love, okay? And I think that, if I continue to take my time and do it on my own, I'm gonna have to be satisfied with it, because I can't even see, like, I'd have to, for one, if I were going to cut her, like right here, like cut all of that off, okay? And then once you start picking that hair out, I'm gonna lose a lot. And so I'd have to, like, say, come down and maybe cut her here, right? Cut her here, and then start picking it out. And I could do it because I did it before. But trust and believe, like when I took that one out here, up in here somewhere, for one, it popped off, right? Like it just popped off, and I was doing good. I had gotten about this much out. But then I got to an area where I guess it was very, very thin in this area, and it was like a knot or something, and I might have yanked it too hard, and I just kind of even broke it. But see, look, that was like some of the hair, and then this was the part that it was just like, as I started, like it came from all the way up in here, but when I initially started, it was hanging, and so when this happened, because she was nodding and doing whatever I wanted to do up in that area, and I pressed it too hard, but see, I had got all of that out, okay? I got the hair, and it was like all the way up in here somewhere, but no, this was the part. This was like up in here, and it broke off somewhere, so no, I'm not, trying to reattach that and this, that, and the third. I just was like going to take this lock out. And as I said, doing that, I seen that I did it before, and I'm not going to go through that again. I'm not going to take myself through that again. So I'm just going to have to deal with her like this. Here in Las Vegas, it's way too hot to, do your hair out and like that, hanging out. And even in the wintertime, right? Like, it's too windy, and I don't want my hair to be blowing all through the wind. So, again, I think you will remain locked for now. So, yeah, and, I can't even really call these sister locks anymore, because they, so rigid about, like, having a grid, and I don't have a grid, okay? I mean, I have one, but it's gone. Like, if I did like this, possibly, you might could see a part, I guess. Okay, so I don't really have, like, a grid like they normally did. So I don't know. I guess it's just locked, okay? It's not sister locks, because I do use a tool, but I don't use the sister lock tool. I do use the clip-on tool for the back. Like, it's one lock hoop that I made back here. And look how she grew. Okay. And so, if I did take her out, here was some more of the hair. If I did take her out, I'd have to cut it. But no, I do use the clip-on tool that was through Sister Lock people to do this one little lock because it's so short. And so it worked perfect, and I can get it to where I want it to be, okay? The real Sister Lock tool, I could use it on someone else's hair, but I could not use it on mine. And so I saw this man the other day using a safety pin, locking people hair. Honey, he called himself Uncle Daddy. Okay, Uncle Daddy was doing them locks, baby. I wish I could sit in his chair, but again, he ain't where I am. So I'ma just have to do my thing the way I do my thing. Okay, but I use this tool right here, and I just need to find, like, I just use water, really, but I don't really use nothing else, and she feels dry or something. That's kind of cute. Yeah. Anywho, I just got to be thankful that I have hair, that I can whip it up on my own, and I am a senior citizen, so I like, when I do go out, I try to fancy her up a little, but I'm not trying to color dye anymore. I'm letting the gray come in. I think that I'm just going to have to keep it like this. So anyway, I just thought I'd touch bases with y'all. I've been home for a few weeks, down with the flu. However, I'm back on for some time. I'll try to touch bases with y'all a little more often. Okay, so lovely day, lovely day, lovely day.